In this tutorial, I'm going to discuss about the email policy in Exchange server. So, email policy is like you can create a combination to form a email addresses. Like for example, you can set a first name, you can set a middle name, you can set the last name like that. If someone wants to create or your organization wants to create a email address, so you can give a mandatory you can ask for the mandatory details of your employees. Like for example, they wants to either you are creating, either being a company itself creating, or you're letting your users to create the email. So both way you can uh, do this particular exercise, whether to set a criteria how you able to create the email addresses. By default, email addresses is able to check it out through alias name, whatever alias you provide, and through that whether with the accepted domain of a fully qualified domain of your root. For example, your root domain is in my case is techengineertv.in. So with the accepted domain, I able to create the particular email policies. Now, when you go with the Microsoft Exchange on-premises organization configuration and Hub Transport, in Hub Transport, you first check it out the accepted domains. So we have accepted domains, which is first is techengineertv.in, which is the authoritative one, and we have also created techengineer.tv, which is an internal relay domain. So for example, I have added another domain which I'm going to provide. This is my mailbox, and in mailbox I have some specific users which I wanted to change their primary SMTP address. My fully qualified domain is, for example, techengineertv.in with the alias root record, able to uh, add the email addresses. So I just want to change the email address of certain users which might be of particularly organizational department. So when you click on the email addresses, by default policies were already there. When you right click, you will get the option called new email address policy. When you click on it, it it's now the wizard open. Now you need to add the name, whatever name of the policy you wants to add. And after, for example, I writing here is new email, or give me the name, let me add test email 1. Now here I'm gonna browse the organizational units. So I have a couple of organizational units considered as accounts, help desk, sales, users. So particularly user of for example, organizational unit of for example, let me add with the sales. For example, I click on the go to this particular organizational unit, sales. So whosoever the member of sales will automatically their SMTP address will be changed. For example, I will give them another SMTP address, and that is will be techengineer.tv. Now you can include the recipient types, for example, users with Exchange mailboxes, user with external email addresses, resource mailboxes, contact with external email addresses, mail enable. Sometimes user with external email addresses. Sometimes some company do add this criteria because might be there is a merger of a company, and if their employees still working with us, so we can add that feature. You can add conditions over there as well. the particular condition you want to apply, you can do that, but I'm not going to do the conditions. You can add the condition, no doubt. Now the email addresses we're going to add is, we have two SMTP email addresses. Now which are the email addresses? By default, as mentioned, that alias record, whenever we add alias, with alias @ and the fully qualified domain name get added. You can add all those people who have last name or with the initials, like for example dot first name dot last name, then first name initial last name, and the first name last name, like that. So only those people, or otherwise you can go through alias. Now the fully qualified domain, which is at this case particularly right now, is techengineertv.in, but you can add the accepted domain. For example, we have already created accepted domain. We have two. One is techengineer.tv. So for example, I'm adding techengineer.tv. So this address will be get added to those particular user I'm selecting in. Now the scheduling, when it's going to happen, I said that immediately, just for the testing purpose. You can add the timing, that with the effect of this date and the timing, it will get changed. So it will take some time to get a configuration, and once it get configured, we'll be back for more, and it will take some time, depends on your Exchange server. Okay, we are back, and you can see that the process has been completed. First it was created, then it was being tested, configured, and now you can see after I press refresh, the another policy created with the priority 1 set. It means that it's having the highest priority. Default policy has been changed. It has been now a lowest priority. Now when I refresh the mailbox, and you can check it out, then some of the users primary SMTP address has been changed. Just find it out the change. There are certain users primary SMTP address has been changed now, and their SMTP address now changed with techengineer.tv. Rest all were, and even was with the techengineertv.in, but this time we have techengineertv.tv. so this is the accepted domain we have added. When you go to properties, and in the email addresses, you have two mails ID, you can see, and this is the primary one, santosh@techengineer.tv, and the secondary one is santosh@techengineertv.in. so it basically might be you have merged certain companies, certain employees, and you're bringing down in your organization. So you can do that like this way, setting out the changements of email policy. Hope you learned something about email policy, how you can configure about it. Thanks for watching.